that and I get contractions, maybe the contractions will push me down into the birth canal, or maybe it can go wrong.
Welcome to Momcast, where we talk about everything mom. Today we have Vianca here as our guest, and she's going to share a little bit about her pregnancy, birth, and feeding journey. So, Vianca, please tell us a little bit about yourself.
Hello, Vianca. Thank you for having me. My name is Vianca, and I'm a teacher at Jumpushi High School. I have 2 children. I have a son that just turned 3, the 18th of June, and then I also have a daughter. She is turning 1 year old in July.
So close,
Yes.
nice and close.
2 years, 1 month. But yeah, we planned for them
to be close
yeah,
together.
yes.
No, that's awesome, and it's exciting to know you have 2, so you have a lot of experience with that. So yeah, I think you can maybe tell us a little about the emotions that you experienced through the pregnancies. What changes did you have emotionally, and how did it affect your daily life?
Yeah, I must say I didn't really have a big emotional change. I'd like to think I wasn't
Too emotional, very emotional husband.
But I must say, one thing that I can remember is from the moment I found out that I was pregnant, especially with my first pregnancy, in the first trimester, when the baby doesn't move yet and everything, you do have a bit of a worry in the back of your mind. I want to do everything correctly, and I want to keep the baby safe. And I think I had that with the second pregnancy as well. Maybe a bit less. I was a bit more at ease with the second pregnancy because I already knew what to expect.
Yeah.
But yeah, there was a bit of a worry in the back of my mind to always keep my baby safe and is everything okay, especially when I don't feel the baby move yet. And other than that, a lot of excitement for the baby to come.
Okay.
Yeah.
Oh, that's awesome. And the physical changes that you experience, except for the belly growing, what other physical changes did you have? Discomfort? Did you have pain, or maybe nausea? What were the physical changes, and how did you manage or deal with it?
I must say I was very lucky with both my pregnancies. I didn't grow very big. I like in my first and my second pregnancy, I didn't size up in my clothes very much. Like I wore my own clothes.
A goal for a lot of moms.
Yeah, I didn't
in my case.
I didn't even go buy pregnancy clothes or something like that.
And how did it feel? Were you happy with it, or in a way did you want to wear pregnancy clothes?
Sometimes I wanted to be a bit bigger so that people can know I'm pregnant.
Yeah.
I mean, you're only pregnant for that long, and there is a few benefits that come with people knowing you're pregnant. Sometimes it wasn't that nice. I'm a teacher, like I said, and with obviously my colleagues and stuff knew that I was pregnant, but because I didn't look that big, they didn't think it was like it took a toll on me because I don't look that big. So I had to do a few whole invigilation during the exam, so I had to walk up and down the whole time and stuff like that. They knew I was pregnant, but I mean, when you
It's actually so interesting to think that people think that if you just don't show that much, then you don't experience everything else like the normal.
So sometimes I would have liked to be bigger, but when I saw the price of maternity clothes, I was so glad. So I borrowed. In my second pregnancy, I got a bit bigger than my first one and faster bigger.
Okay, yeah.
But I borrowed a few jeans from my mother, like 12, size 12, size 14, and that was, I stopped there at size 14. With my second pregnancy, with my first pregnancy, size 12 jeans. So yeah, it wasn't that big. So I must say, it also took a toll on me, but not that much.
Yeah.
Um,
And nausea.
that's the first trimester. Oh my, I had a lot of nausea. Actually, from about 5 weeks till let's say 22 weeks.
So were you nauseous before you knew you were pregnant, or only after you found out?
With my son, I found out at 5 weeks, my first pregnancy, and then with my daughter, we were trying to get pregnant with my daughter, and I found out 9 days past ovulation that I was pregnant with her. I just actually knew because there were signs again that happened with my son, like I had menstrual pain, like it felt like my period was coming and it didn't come. So I just actually knew with my daughter.
And it's so amazing. I think of, especially us that have 2 children already, like the second time it's almost as if you know when you're pregnant.
I just knew.
You even if you like sometimes months go by and you think I might be pregnant, but as soon as you are pregnant, you just know. It's like an instinct that just comes off. So it's actually quite amazing how our bodies let us know.
I had morning sickness.
But what did you do? How did you handle it? Did you have prescription, or did you just go with it?
I found that when I got hungry, I felt a lot more nauseous. So I had like Mari biscuits in my car, next to my bed. And I don't even like Mari biscuits that much, but I just had to eat something. So before I stood up in the morning, I would maybe take 1 Mari biscuit and eat it so long to prevent the nausea. Sometimes I was still a bit nauseous, but it helped. It helped.
I think that's someone, a sister also told me when I was nauseous. She said, just eat before you get out of bed, because it's literally the hunger that just it doesn't take it away like you said, but at least it makes it better. Because nausea, I don't know, I would take pain any day, but nausea, I don't like nausea. Like being nauseous is like one of the worst things for me. And I remember you also said you were nauseous for quite a long time in your first pregnancy. Till how many weeks were you pregnant when it actually stopped?
I think 22, 24 weeks.
Goodness, so that's past halfway.
And the first pregnancy was worse. Like in the first pregnancy, I would vomit as well, and in the second pregnancy, I think it was a bit better. Sometimes I would vomit in the first pregnancy much more, but benefit again, it helped me with gaining weight. So
I was nauseous, but I never threw up. I was just constantly nauseous, and I remember I also I ate like 10 times a day, because as soon as I ate, I felt better. So I was timing myself every 3 hours. I had to eat so that I can prevent getting nauseous, and that's I got such a bad habit of eating literally the whole day.
That's the thing. I looked at it from the bright side and said, okay,
one positive out of being.
When I vomit, I don't pick up so much weight, so it's fine.
And any pain, discomfort? Because you said you didn't show so much, so did you have other pains or something?
Not that much. I am chronically constipated, so I suffered a bit from that in the 3rd trimester, especially with both my pregnancies. And then the other thing is my children were very high in my stomach, so both of them didn't go into the birth canal. Like they didn't move down, and so that put a lot of pressure on my ribs. Yeah, so that I always had to sit back like this, and when I touched here,
it was
and
very
just underneath your underneath my ribs, it was very sore. But that was that. Nothing I couldn't handle.
handle.
Yes.
Oh yeah, and I think, like you said, a lot of women don't like sharing about constipation, but that's such a real thing. And I think, as well, I am actually chronically constipated as well. And I think one thing to tell moms that think they might be, or when they get constipated during pregnancy, to really not just leave it. I think I learned my lesson as well with the first pregnancy, and the doctor gave me Movicol.
Mm.
That really helped a lot. And it's not just to ease the constipation, but like you're already so big, you already feel so stuffed. So it just really helps, I think, with discomfort. And yeah, I think for moms, if it's one thing about that I can give a tip is to not just think, no, it's fine, it will pass. Like, rather use it and not let it build up, if I can say, and then it's a bit late, and then it is really uncomfortable. Yeah, because I think it's women aren't very open about talking about it, because it's not a fun thing.
Yeah. Yeah, you don't feel very beautiful to talk about constipation. But yeah, I also used medical,
Yeah.
and I had to, especially when you give birth as well.
Yeah.
It's, not nice to be
Yeah.
constipated when you gave birth.
Yeah.
So yeah, I used it for a long time as well.
And you didn't have, did you have any challenges or surprises during your pregnancies?
Not really. In my first pregnancy, I got a new job at a new school.
Okay.
In my second pregnancy, I also got a new job at a new school. So I think that was just to fit into a new school again.
Yeah.
That was all challenge that I.
Especially while being pregnant and
Yeah.
knowing, like, after a few months, you
Telling
know, to
telling the principal, I'm pregnant. Yeah, that was a
Yeah.
bit stressful, but no.
And how was it to actually be pregnant while having a full-time job? And yeah, if you can maybe share, like, how did you feel? Because I know with the fatigue and you said you're a teacher, so with the long standing and everything, how did you experience being like full-time job while being pregnant?
Yeah, I must say that's the. Some people say that being a teacher is only a morning job or
Yeah.
something like that. I'm going to differ, but yeah, I made it a morning job in my first pregnancy.
Yeah.
Because really I went to the school, do what I have to do,
And
got back home, and then I like went into bed and I slept and I rest, and obviously
Yeah.
I did my walking. And but I think in my first pregnancy I had a lot of time to rest.
Okay. So that was kind of like a coping mechanism for you to really make time to rest during your pregnancy.
Yeah, but then with a toddler at home in the second pregnancy, I didn't really have that luxury to go rest. So I don't know. I actually just tried to stay organized. I think throughout my life, coping for me, I must try to stay organized, because when I'm not organized, then I freak out and I stress, and so I try to keep my stress to a minimum.
And with that, it's by being organized, knowing everything is going as planned.
Yeah, and then when I had time for something, I did it. When I didn't, I tried to not be too hard on myself.
Yeah.
If I didn't have time to exercise or whatever, I didn't. If I had time, I put my toddler maybe in the stroller and we went for a walk or something like that. So
yeah, because I also think with moms, there's so much pressure on how to do things, and you still need to go on with life while being pregnant, while having a job. And like you said, now with the second one, having a toddler in the house, it's totally different.
Much more difficult, yeah.
Because now you still have to give attention and love when
Cater
you
to
get
his
home.
needs and then your own.
Yeah,
and you have a
and
husband somewhere.
in there, you must also fit in.
Yeah.
And yeah, I think that's an amazing thing to take, to not be too hard on yourself. Like, do what you can and be happy with it. Like, being putting too much pressure on yourself as well is also emotional stress for you and for the baby. And I think also looking back at my pregnancies, I'm like, there were so many things that you worry about, and now I'm like, why did I worry about it? Like, it's not such a huge thing. Or and like you said, with the exercise, like, try to keep fit, but even if it's going for a walk with your toddler, then like use what you got. I think that's a great thing to keep in mind.
Yeah, I don't know. I was a bit, I won't say never minded with my second pregnancy, but like at one stage my mother said, listen, with your first pregnancy you said, I want this, I need this, and now with your second pregnancy, like, you don't talk what you need, what you want, especially because the gender wasn't the same and stuff like that. And I just said, I'm just, this time I'm more relaxed because I know what's coming and I know what I use and don't use.
Yeah.
So in the first pregnancy I wanted everything because I didn't know what I'm going to use and not use, and so I must say
you want to be over prepared.
In my second pregnancy I focused a bit more on my toddler and a bit less on my pregnancy. While with my first pregnancy, I focused a lot on my first pregnancy. So my second pregnancy flew by actually.
Because you have another human being to take care and not think about every day's growth. I remember we had this amazing app that showed how your baby grew every day, and we checked it every day and every week. And with the second one, like at I don't know how many weeks, I'm like, oh, I never even filled that in or checked the app or anything. Because you're not focused, and then it goes by quickly because you're not so focused on every single day, and it feels so long. With the second one, it's actually crazy how fast it goes.
With the second one, when someone asked me how many weeks, I had to actually think or count or remember or look on the app or
somewhere past this.
I'm halfway.
Shame. And how did you prepare for the babies? Like, did you have baby showers? Did you go to prenatal classes? How did you prepare for the babies?
With my first pregnancy, I actually waited to buy stuff till after my baby shower. So I had a baby shower, and I obviously planned for big, more expensive necessities like the stroller. I was fortunate with the crib because my mother saved my crib. I was a baby, a wooden crib. So she gave that to me, and I'm also the eldest. So I had the privilege of getting the crib. And so I saved. We started saving for the bigger stuff like a stroller and stuff like that, and I searched online and everything for that, and we only bought it like in the third trimester, I think. I also tried to buy things neutral, like I have a lot of greys that I could use for both genders. Because I
you knew you wanted more than one.
I knew I wanted more than one child. So for the second pregnancy it was very easy because I already had a lot of the stuff. Just here and there a pink blanket or something like that because it was a girl now. With my son also I tried to rather buy green stuff and not blue stuff so that I can maybe use it for a girl again. I got a lot of stuff with my baby shower, so I didn't
have
a
lot of expenses except for the big ones.
Really, I say
that's good to know that. I think you obviously should prepare like save up a bit for the big things. Um, but I think it's a blessing to be able to have a baby shower and have family and friends to really bless you with stuff, because that really helps you for the start.
I think
especially the diapers.
Really, I had like diapers maybe for, if I'm going to say, around about a year.
Goodness.
I'm not lying. I had wet wipes for like a cupboard packed with wet wipes.
And that really helps.
Yeah.
And I think it also, even with your first baby, it takes stress out of like knowing, because I knew I usually stress like, oh my goodness, the diapers is they're going quite fast, and then I have to remember to go to the shop, and I was always so scared I would run out of diapers. And luckily it never happened with a newborn, we had enough. But I remember this one time, my baby was, I think it was just over a year, my firstborn, and we literally one day we ran out of diapers, and I was busy with the client. I did nails, and the lady that looked after my boy came to me and she's like, there's no diapers, and I just changed him, and I'm like, oh, I'm in the middle of this appointment, and we literally like made a lapdoek like this. I grabbed a towel, and we're like, okay, we're gonna figure this out. Just keep him dry till I'm finished, and then I'll go buy some diapers. And we laugh so much about, like, my poor boy, he was like trying to crawl with this huge towel around him. And I'm like, it happens, you know, stuff happens, and and he's fine. So yeah, I think this, if we can talk about all the funny stuff that, if you look back and like, I worried about stuff that wasn't necessary. And I think for new moms to really take to heart that stuff is gonna happen that's not in your control, and it's okay, it's fine, it's normal.
Yeah. As long as your baby's safe.
Yeah, and in a household that loves them and takes care of them, they will be okay.
Yeah, that's so important.
And earlier you said about your birth that if you can tell us what birth plan did you have, and did it follow as expected, and if not, what changed, and how did you take the change?
I had a plan, okay? I had a plan. Like, I had this healthy pregnancies. Both of them was very healthy. Except for the nausea and what. I didn't have any.
And the baby were
healthy all the way. And so I just like had it in my head that I'm going to give normal birth.
Okay.
That is what I wanted to do. And with the healthy pregnancies, I mean, what can go wrong?
Yeah.
So, about 39 weeks I went for checkups. You know, the checkups get more the closer you get to your due date. And I went for my checkups, and like I knew that my baby hasn't, I don't know,
went into the birth canal.
Yeah, in Afrikaans we say they suck.
Yeah.
And
moved down.
Yeah. And like I just knew that he didn't.
You could feel
because like I said, I had a lot of tension on my ribs, and like there wasn't space.
Yeah.
And then underneath I could feel like there's a lot of space, really, like there by my bone. So I just knew, and the doctor said, okay, you're 39 weeks pregnant and your baby didn't go into the birth canal yet. So I am going to check you again on Wednesday. I think, I can't remember, that was the previous Friday, I think. And then he said, I'm going to check you again the next Wednesday. And we will maybe see if he
maybe moved.
But he said if he didn't yet, he don't think that there's going to be a great chance of him moving down then. But then we can make a decision, because he knew that I really wanted to do it normally, like a vaginal birth. And I went on Wednesday, and then obviously nothing yet. Like I bounced on a ball that weekend. I went for walks.
Tried everything.
I climbed upstairs. I did everything and nothing happened. So yeah, then we spoke a bit and he asked me if I will maybe think about getting a C-section or we can induce. But if we do that and I get contractions, maybe the contractions will push him down into the birth canal, or maybe it can go wrong. And then, if he's not laying correctly, or something may happen to his neck, or the contractions can put pressure on him. And then we are going to have to do a C section any case. So I took the C-section option because I didn't want to go through a Noordkeizer, emergency. So we booked the C-section for that Friday. So I made the choice on Wednesday, went home, cried, I was so sad.
I just want to ask, how did you take it? Because you really wanted to do a vaginal birth.
I was
so it
really
was quite tough for you.
Yeah, that was tough. I was really sad about it. I think the main reason was because of the healing afterwards. The healing after birth. My sister-in-law just gave birth, I think 8 months. She gave birth a month before I found out I was pregnant.
Okay.
Yeah. So, and she gave birth vaginally. And so I just actually saw how easy she, like when she got home, she could move around and do everything and pick up her baby and pick up things, and she just went on with life. And so
I wanted that.
I was afraid of this, like cutting open operation, and
I also think to just add, like, we are used to, our parents still had the huge cuts at old, that's what we think. It's this huge, I'm wearing a huge obviously it's still operation, it's big, but it's not. I know I had this.
It was worse in my age, right?
I'm gonna have this huge thing, and then afterwards, actually, I'm like, where's the cut? So it's actually the technology is quite amazing now with C-sections. But how did you feel physically after the first C-section? Did you feel, if I can say, as bad as you thought you would? Because I mean, that's what you thought. You thought this is going to be worse, and it's not what you wanted. How did you feel physically and also emotionally?
Like I just said, it was a lot worse in my head. I think, I don't know, I think that baby just made up for any pain. Really, I got up and I did my thing, and at home as well. It was sore to sneeze and to laugh and to cough, and that was about it. Really, I think the love that I had for the baby, the moment I did that C-section, I was fine with it.
I'm getting the baby
and it's a healthy baby. And all my emotion just went to that. The baby could be with me, no need for NICU, nothing. The other thing is, when I went in on the Friday, I told my husband, I think my boy knows that he's coming today because he's very busy and stuff. And when I got into my bed and they morning told me, they actually told me that I am in labor. I'm having contractions. That's why it felt like
he was busy.
He's busy, And so every time I had a contraction, his heart rate climbed, and then when the contraction went away, his heart rate dropped again. So they actually took me in first to do the C-section, and
and the doctor said that might have been an issue if you had to try.
If I induced, that would have.
And that just shows you, like, everything really works out as it should.
It does.
If you have peace about something, obviously, if something doesn't work exactly as you planned, especially if you are a planner, then it's not nice. But if you have peace about it, and I think, like I said, it always works out as it should. And it's amazing to see, like, if you had that, it might have had other complications,
Complications, yeah.
and that would have put more stress on you and the baby.
Yeah.
I remember as well my mom, because I also wanted to do a normal birth, but I made up my mind from the beginning that C-section might be in my part because um, I have a very tall husband, and a lot of people said that I might have big babies, which was true. So I kind of made myself told myself, either way, as long as me and the baby is healthy, then it's fine. Um, and then my mom also told me at the end of the pregnancy, trust me, you just want the baby out. You don't care how, you just want the baby out. And also, the one thing that you said that stood out was that as soon as you had the baby, you forgot about the pain. It's just like
You
this
really do.
amazing. You're enjoying this little human being that you just created.
Yeah.
And yeah, I think sometimes when I think back, I don't even remember the pain. I remember the sweet moments, the
Just holding this
if I have to think,
the
yeah.
newborn noises and
If you tell me like did you have pain and I have to think about it, yes, I can tell you there was pain. But in my experience, the one thing that really helped me with recovering with the C-section was to actually walk, to not just sit. I think that's a lot of that's one thing that moms with C-sections, I think wrongly about, because they think, no, I just had an operation, I have to sit and do nothing.
Yeah, I wanted to say, just get up, do your
normal
things.
thing.
Yeah.
Obviously, there's certain medical things that like don't pick
up
heavy things and everything. But
look after yourself.
yeah,
Still
still look
overdo
after
it.
yourself. Still take care of yourself, but move. I think that's literally. I remember with my first son, when I went after getting up, I know that first initial getting up was really sore, but as soon as I started walking up and down, it's as if my muscles relaxed,
Yeah.
and I felt
That's
better.
so true. Yeah.
So I think that's one thing I would tell moms that know they have to get a C-section, or let's say they have to get an emergency C-section, that to not think that you have to sit, because that's kind of the worst thing to do. Because as soon as if I sat for long hours and I would then get up, then I could feel it's sore now.
But when you move
But as
around
soon as I
again,
moved and my body relaxed, my muscles relaxed, and then it was so much better.
Yeah.
And take your, even if it's normal or C-section, take your pain medication. Like I think some moms like, no, I'll wait. Don't wait till
Don't
you
wait.
feel the pain.
I waited once. Really, I had such pain. They gave me like a set pull,
Yes.
like from the bottom, and I didn't want to use it because it's not nice to use it. So I waited, and then the
It
pain
was too much.
So I took it.
So take it hourly like you should.
Yeah.
Don't wait for the pain.
Even
Then
if
it's
there's
too
no
late.
pain.
Yeah, because sometimes I think the pain medication helps and you think, oh no, I'm feeling fine, I'm gonna take it. And then if it worked out, then you like, okay, I should have taken it. So don't wait for the should have, but that's too late.
Really, it doesn't, like, even that pain, it didn't get that, like, I didn't want to cry. And the other thing is the getting up, doing things. Also, I think it helps with emotional.
Yeah.
If I didn't like get up and get myself neat and go shower, and I think I would have maybe fallen into like postpartum depression or something like that. There was a time with my second, not with my first pregnancy, but with my second pregnancy. It was actually nice because my husband took my toddler to school.
Oh, yeah.
And I was on maternity leave, so I was at home. And in the evening I didn't sleep that much because I really suffered with breastfeeding and stuff like that. But then during the day, my husband took my toddler to school, and then I slept with the baby. So I didn't get up, and I didn't get dressed,
Did your
and
normal things.
yeah, and I must say there was a time where I felt like all I do is sleep during the day, and it took an emotional toll on me
Yeah.
with my second pregnancy. Um, yeah, it got hard for me to think, oh, I must stand up and make a bottle for my
Yeah.
baby, or I must, because I pumped, so it was cleaning bottles the whole time, and then giving
So you
breast milk
basically
food.
felt just like a cow.
Yeah,
That's
really.
all you do is milk, and that's your life from now on.
Yeah, and later it took its toll emotionally on me because I didn't get up and do things. So I told my husband that, okay, I think I'm fine now to take my son to school,
Okay.
because I have to get up, I have to get dressed, I have to dress my son, we have to go to school, so that have something to do during
And
the
get
day.
into your normal
Routine again, because otherwise I maybe would have ended up with
really
postpartum
yeah.
depression or something like
And
that. I felt it coming,
yeah.
but I had to realize it's
At
it's
least
just
you realize.
laying
Yeah.
in bed every day, not getting up, not getting dressed, just lying here.
Yeah.
So yeah.
And that's amazing that you actually realized it before it really happened. And yeah, I think you tell, especially new moms, that I remember with my first born, I had a little bit of postpartum depression that first week after, and it was exactly what you said. It's not being in routine. I'm a person that loves routine, that loves to do the things that I normally do, and that first week when I was just at home, I didn't go anywhere. I told my husband as well, like, this is getting hard for me. It felt like obviously your life has turned around completely,
Yeah.
but in that moment it felt like for the worst, and that's
Yeah.
not, it's amazing turnaround
Yeah.
with having a baby, but I told him I have to do something that I usually do. I have to go out, I have to see people, to do the normal things, to feel normal, because in that, with all that emotional changes after, I mean, your body went through so much changes, and then immediately, basically, it's taken away.
And that
in out of your
responsibility
body,
of that new
and the
person,
responsibility and
24/7.
everything. So your emotions are, and hormones are crazy. So to do a little bit of the normal will make you feel, if I can say normal, in your upside down world at the moment. And yeah, I think that could be really something that new moms should realize after birth, to do things that you love, to do things that you used to do, even if it's giving your husband, telling him to watch the baby for a while you do something that you love, or that makes you relax. Because I think as a mom, that instinct of I have to take care, you don't want, sometimes we don't trust the dads with the baby, because it's new, it's scary, especially if you're breastfeeding as well. It's as if like this baby is attached to you, like you are the food source, so it's more difficult as well to give to the dad and to take that time for yourself. It's almost as if you feel guilty, and to realize that you don't have to feel guilty to take time for yourself. It's 24 hours that you give yourself to this baby. 1 hour, half an hour, 2 hours in a day for yourself is not selfish. You don't have to feel guilty.
I think it's really important before you give birth to maybe pinpoint someone that you know you can rely on before that baby comes, to just when you need it, when you need to go take a shower, leave your baby there.
Even if it's a grandma or someone, or a friend that you really trust, to really, and I also think, before, like you said, before giving birth, have a chat to your husband, to your grandma, to the person that you trust and rely on. To
what's your
and
duties,
tell them to keep you accountable. Like, hey, you said you're gonna take time for yourself. Let me have the baby for half an hour. I'll be fine.
You really need that.
So I think that's really important. And with that being said, how was your feeding journey? First of all, what was your how did you make a decision, or how did you make the decision on breastfeeding or formula feeding? What did you do, and what was your experience with it?
I obviously wanted to breastfeed. Like there was just I didn't even have to think about it. I
Yeah.
wanted to breastfeed both my children. So I was very. I'm going to use the word stupid at the beginning.
Yeah.
With this breastfeeding, I mean, I didn't have a lot of how can I say, interaction with that previously, because I'm the eldest child as well. I'm the first one to get a baby, and my sister-in-law had a baby. It went well with her breastfeeding, but it didn't go that well with my breastfeeding journey. Like I tried everything. Younger, I bought pumps. I pumped like express pumped, like I pumped the whole day. At that time with my first pregnancy, or
So
with
you were
my
struggling with amount.
your amount of milk that I had. I pumped with like it was a pump that you should hold here and then sit somewhere. Like it wasn't that wearable stuff that you can move around with. So I tried to pump a lot to express milk. I tried to breastfeed like every 2 hours. That's why I didn't sleep that much, because I had to wake my baby every 2 hours.
So that your supply can increase.
Yes. I went to Sister Appelkie at that time at baby clinic, Rosa Park, and she helped me with the breastfeeding. And I must say the breastfeeding is one thing that I say don't be too hard on yourself, but I was very hard on myself with the breastfeeding. Like I put a lot of emotional pressure on me with the breastfeeding. I wanted this to work out. So I went to weigh my baby, and my baby didn't pick up enough weight, and so I tried everything. I ate bars, like breastfeeding lactation bars that cost so much.
All this specific stuff.
I really ate healthy, like all the nuts and stuff that everyone recommended. I ate, so I really tried everything, and it didn't go that well. I think at about, I don't want to lie, I think my baby was a month old or something like that, 5 weeks old. I started to give formula, like baby food, we call it.
Just extra feeding.
Yes, because he didn't pick up weight as he should. So I had to give formula as well. So I put him on the breast, gave breast milk, and then when he started like fussing, there's not enough milk, then I gave the breast in formula.
And how was that experience having to do both?
Irritating. Because I didn't want to struggle with the bottles and everything. Like and when we were maybe in the city, when we went to the shops or something like that, other moms that had milk could go sit in the car and breastfeed their baby or whatever. I couldn't do that. I had to plan to take formula with. I had to plan to take hot water and cold water to make lukewarm water for the bottle, because I can't, in a shop, I can't put it in a microwave or something like that. So it took a lot of planning as well. Sometimes when I didn't have milk or something and my baby cried, he's hungry, I tried to go to the car and I tried to breastfeed him with what I had, but it wasn't enough to soothe him, because he sucked and sucked, and he didn't get enough milk. So it was a struggle, a real struggle. And this again, with the same with the birth plan, I had my mind made up. I wanted to breastfeed. So eventually I stopped with my boy at about I didn't even need to take a pill or something like that. Like I had a box of breast pads that I didn't even need to use because I never leaked. So yeah, it just stopped. My milk just the didn't, you know.
The supply just.
I never struggled with like mastitis and that stuff.
Yeah.
Because I didn't have enough milk. Like I did everything, and it made me so angry because when I like tried to ask for help and stuff like that, but people told me you have enough milk. There's not such a thing that as you don't have enough milk. You have enough milk. You just have to stimulate enough. It's
and
not,
like you have stimulated
I stimulated
more than enough.
I stimulated and I didn't have enough milk. I tried everything, and I think emotionally that also made me feel like
a burden on you.
yeah, why isn't this working out?
Well, what's wrong with me?
Yeah, because people say that when I stimulate enough, I will have enough milk, and it is not that easy.
And I think that's also a big thing for me. Like as a mom that did breastfeed, and I were fortunate enough to didn't have any problems with breastfeeding. Like I had like more than enough supply, and even with me, I sometimes get so frustrated with people that shame moms that aren't able to breastfeed.
It's not always their choice.
Exactly, it's not their choice. Some of them, like exactly like you literally tried everything. You tried the expensive food as well, like eating, drinking stuff that said will increase your supply. You fed every 2 hours, and that's the stuff that everyone said, like try to pump out, try to everything, and you literally did everything, and that is just what it's okay. I think I like I said, I get so frustrated when they shame moms because it's such a huge burden that you put on that mom for saying
so
you are wrong,
drained.
You're not giving the right thing to your child. And I mean, your boy, I know him now personally. He's such a beautiful, smart,
healthy
boy,
and he had
formula. And like I said, especially coming from a mom that did breastfeed, for moms out there, don't shame moms. It's not. It's already they're already tough on themselves. They already feel like I am not. I think your mind goes through so many things like, how can I not give my son or my baby breast milk? That's the best for them. And so you're already putting so much pressure on yourself, and now when you ask for help, then there's this backlash of people that telling you you're wrong, you're not doing the right thing. I think,
and there's not such a thing as not enough milk. If you supply correctly, stimulate correctly, you will have enough milk.
Like
that's
not with everyone.
And emotionally, that broke me so down because I really tried. And the thing is with my second pregnancy as well, from the moment I found out I was pregnant again, that breastfeeding, like it went through my mind, like what am I going to do different this time?
So you can breastfeed.
From the beginning, I'm going to do this and this and this and this to breastfeed.
Yeah.
And the same thing happened. I got so anxious in hospital because I had this nurses next to me trying to help me to breastfeed and do this, take baby like that, and that was really, so it made me like stress because it's my second child. It's my second child, and they are just like, they take my nipple and they put
they're so odd. You're working so rough with you actually.
They didn't really just leave me and try to figure it out.
And that's the thing. So the best way to actually breastfeed is to be calm. If you're anxious, then it's like absolutely like It dries up more
Yes,
quickly.
because I think I was anxious because I knew the first time I didn't have enough milk, and now it's the second time, and I think the baby is not taking my breast because I don't have enough milk again, and I kept telling them, "Do you think I have enough milk? Do I have enough milk? Do you think?"
That stressed it,
Yeah, that stressed me so out. And when I got home, I actually this time I took money and I bought myself like wearable pumps for both breasts so that I could start pumping. Yeah, while I do things, I pump because I actually took my baby to weigh again, and she picked up weight this time, didn't lose it like my son, but she only picked up, I think they said something like 6 grams or 16 grams a day or something.
She picked
like
up,
that.
but
Not
enough.
not near enough. So that's when I decided, okay, now I'm going to pump so that I can throw it in a bottle and see how much milk she gets in. So it's still breast milk, but it's just your bottle fed. And yeah, I was sad about that as well because it felt like I'm feeding a machine and the machine is feeding my baby, not me, because I wanted that bond that she's drinking from me and I'm sitting looking at her. Okay, so I didn't have that again, but it felt like at least this time I'm giving breast milk and not formula. So yeah, I made it okay in my head. And when the more she grew, the more milk she needed. I could give her, like, when I pumped both breasts, I got like 100 milliliters at most at a time. And yeah, so it was also so draining because I had to pump enough to have enough for the next feeding
So
session.
it's also a stress, like,
so
10 milliliters short.
Yeah, so I had to quickly pump because the next feeding session is coming, so I had to pump all the time to have really all the time to have enough milk for the next feeding session. When she wanted more, I had to go over to formula as well. So I gave a bit of breast milk and a bit of formula again, like with my son, just a bit later. I think maybe by 2 months this time, because then she wanted more and I couldn't provide that. And here at, I think maybe with my son, I like fed breast milk and formula till about 5 months, but with my daughter I stopped at 3 months. Because she didn't want my breast at all, she only wanted the bottle. My son took my breast still, that's why I went on till 5 months. And then with my daughter, I stopped because my nipples got so sore from the pumps. And
from pumping the
whole time. And
and it's
because
also not
it
always
wasn't
a natural.
and it wasn't like a warm mouth around my nipple.
That's kind of
With that first cold pump that the pump sucked,
it
was so sore. So my nipples didn't heal. My daughter is 11 months now, and still my nipples were so tender. Like when I get into a shower and the water falls onto my nipples, still it's a bit sore. Like it's
And I think with my second son, he got at 6 months, he got both of his lower teeth. And the first time he bit me, it was so sore, I was bleeding and I was crying, and he was crying because I like screamed as soon as he bit me, and I was crying. I remember I was like giving him to my husband, like, just take him. I was crying. And I was like, okay, because it was my second boy, but it was my first experience with biting, because my firstborn didn't have teeth until like 15 months, so I never struggled because I stopped breastfeeding and then he still didn't have teeth. And the second time he bit me and it was bleeding and I was and I remember every time I wanted to breastfeed, I was like anxious and I was waiting for that bite. So my whole body was like contracted and I realized that this isn't healthy for me and my baby anymore. I'm anyway taking him off as soon as I think he's finished because it usually bit at the end. And then I would think now I'm taking him off before he bites me. And
you're just waiting for that bite.
Then he started wanting to drink more because then I realized I probably took him off before he was finished drinking. And I was just getting more anxious and then I decided, you know what, I'm not gonna go through this emotional struggle and I am yelling at my baby every time, so I was like, I'm not gonna go through this. So I started pumping out to give him it through a bottle. And that's what I want to come to, like with the bottle, it's different with pumping out than actually breastfeeding. Because breastfeeding, that contact, it's like a chemical reaction that it shows the milk just keeps on supplying. But with the pump, it's almost like a dry pump, so it's not that physical, so it doesn't give the natural amount of pumping. So your milk does decrease, and that's exactly what happened with me. After a month, I also don't have enough milk per session anymore, so I had to start giving formula as well. And I have to say, he really took the transition quite well. He didn't have colic or cramps that I thought with the formula. He really took it well. I think that's one thing to tell moms, like it's okay if you get the right formula and with the right formula. I mean, we couldn't take the most expensive one, and he was fine. And I have to say, at first I felt guilty because with me, I breastfed my firstborn till 11 months, and now I'm like, oh, I'm stopping at 8 months with my second. How can I not let him have the same as the first? And then I had to remind myself, like, Bianca, this is okay. Every child is also going to be different. So your breastfeeding journey with each one or your feeding journey with each one might be totally different. And that's okay. It's fine. It's normal. Yeah, and I think for moms to that has to go to bottle or someone told me, and I did tell one of the other moms as well, and it's something that stood by me, even being a breastfeeding mom. They said that emotional healthy mom is better than breast milk. And if because I know of another mom that had a lot of postpartum depression, and the breastfeeding every 2 hours just made it worse with that being so tired. So they suggested that she and her husband made turns with the feeding, and with that she either have to pump or give formula so that she can rest, so that she can cure the depression as well, because she was resenting the baby for breastfeeding after a while, because like with that depression she was getting angry at the baby, and that isn't healthy as well. So a healthy mom, emotional healthy mom, is better than having to breastfeed. So yeah, I think for moms that out there that are hard on themselves for having to take formula, it's fine. Your baby isn't gonna one day even ask you, was I breastfeeding baby or formula?
Yeah.
I mean, both your babies are so healthy. They are meeting everything they need to.
Yeah, all their milestones.
And they are healthy. They're happy, and that's what we want. We want healthy babies, happy moms as well. And I think that's a big thing, and also to speak to your husband beforehand, like this is our plan, but if it doesn't work out, this is what we can do, and it's okay. I think, especially with me being a planner, I had to consistently tell myself it's okay if things I have to replan or reroute or something, because every child, every mom, everyone's journey is going to be different. And that's what also makes it special, not with just each baby, but with each mom's journey. And I've been talking to a few moms, and it's amazing to see how all of you differ, and
handle
all
every
of you
situation.
have amazing healthy babies,
Yeah, that's the
and
thing.
not one of your stories are the same.
No.
So yeah, if you could give 1 or 2 tips for new moms about feeding, what would that be?
Yeah, sure. I had what you said. I had to learn that to adapt,
Yeah.
to not just have one plan inside your head
Yeah.
and just stick to that plan. Because when it doesn't work out, like it's the same with
put a
one's
pressure on
birth
yourself.
plan, yeah. And it is more important to have a happy mom, yeah, that doesn't like get too stressed and take it out on the baby.
Yeah.
So yeah, I think plan, but don't
Be set.
be set in your plan.
Yeah.
You must be able to adapt during your journey. Yes.
Now that is awesome. But thank you so much for joining us today,
It was
Vianca.
lovely.
It is it was such a pleasure having you here. And thank you for sharing your journey. I really truly believe that your journey and your experience might mean something to someone out there, to moms, and to like I said, for moms out there to know that it's okay if your plan doesn't work, it's okay if your breastfeeding or your feeding journey doesn't go as planned.
Literally, I am a walking
example.
Nothing went as planned with not my birth story. Not my
And they
breastfeeding
are
journey.
happy and your children are
Happy, and I just like to brag with them and
So
just love them
thank
and
you.
enjoy them.
Thank you so much for coming. We really appreciate it. Hi, if this video meant something to you today or you could relate to what we said, please like and subscribe for some amazing content coming. And if there's a mom out there that you know that needs to hear something we said, please share this video and let's get some love out there to all moms.